workshop.
All right, so we are recording. And so, welcome to Take Center Stage. My name is Marissa Budorn. This is as featured in the Own It magazine. And with me today is our November cover girl, Dr. Hattie Washington. And we are live and in person. This is the first, I believe this is the first in-person interview we've done in 2021. Yes, it is, because we've been under what? Quarantine, pandemic.
Right.
We've been under
Shut down,
closed down. And so many of you who are our regular followers, you are pretty much already familiar with our November cover girl. And we're doing a special issue. It's called The Year at a Glance, which really focuses on, tapping into the wisdom of those who have gone before us, those subject matter experts in their field and industry that have gone on to do some great and amazing things. And Dr. Washington, that is something that's an understatement for you. All the give back that you have given to the community and all those people that you have touched and transformed their lives. You've done some major, incredible things, life-changing things that sometimes people like yourself take for granted because you're just being yourself. Doing what you do. You're not, it's not an effort, it's just a heartbeat. And so, Year at a Glance is meant to focus on, reflexing over the year and then projecting into the coming year. And so, could you share something, some things that 2021 that resonate in your heart for 2021? Some of the triumphs that you have, or words of wisdom, anything like that for 2021?
Well, actually, the biggest thing in 2021, I moved from Maryland to Jacksonville, Florida.
Woo!
And that was in January of 2021.
Wow.
I came down for Thanksgiving in the middle of the pandemic because my daughter's a physician. And she was just overworked and just wanted me to come down. And she said, Mom, put on 2 masks and a shield and, you'll be okay. And I could tell she wanted me here because she was just overworked in hospitals and on the front line.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, when I do that. So I came down for Thanksgiving and I ended up staying through Christmas. And then the day before the day before New Year's, I was going to go back. And then my son-in-law showed me a house that he thought I would like.
This is a beautiful house, people. Wouldn't you say?
And so I looked at it. I thought, I didn't come out here to buy a house. I came down to spend time with my daughter and granddaughters.
And support.
And so when I walked in the front door, this is the front door. When I walked in the front door, you can't see it because the trees in the way. I saw the pool and the lake and the fountain. I thought, okay, that's my house.
Wow.
And I've been looking for 3 years down here in different houses. They had different things I like and other things I didn't like. And I didn't want to settle. Sometimes the Lord gives you the discernment, this is not your house.
Right.
And so I'm not a settler, even though I knew I needed to be here because of my daughter and my granddaughters. And so when I walked in, I thought, I don't need to see the rest of the house.
Wow.
I feel comfortable with this house. And as I looked at the kitchen and the bedrooms and the master bedroom, I said, Lord, thank you. You work in your time.
Yes.
And you work for those people who are driven to do your purpose. And so I've always given up myself, cashed in my retirement to open up the foster boys home.
Wow.
And I'm losing my personal house because I use it as collateral for the boys home. And then I had a fire and walked out of my house with just the clothes on my back and my computer that had my Driven to Succeed book in the computer. If I hadn't gone back to get my computer, there wouldn't be a Driven to Succeed book today. And so I know the Lord is in everything that I do. And so out of losing my house, giving up my retirement for the foster boys home, and to walk in this house, didn't know how much it cost. I just said, start the paperwork. And the Lord had everything to go through smoothly and just beautiful. So in terms of my year, that was a major thing that happened this year. And there's two other things. I had two anthologies that I published this year. One, Sisterhood, The Power of Sisterhood, by the Sisters for Sisters Network with Peggy Morris and the wonderful ladies in the Sisters for Sisters Network. I have a chapter in here, and this book has to do with many women who have used businesses, been successful in businesses, and they use them to make a difference in the community. And I talked about my life and how I was able to influence other people to do their businesses and to step out and stop saying ready, set, and never say ready, set, go. So with my Driven to Succeed book, I encourage and inspire and empower women and other people to move forward and do God's work. So this is a wonderful book of other females who have been encouraging people in the community. And then the other anthology I did this year is the Think Pink Network. And it came out in October, which was National Breast Cancer Month. And this is a book for women, by women, people who have started businesses and they have changed the lives of people through their businesses and doing God's work. And it's also affiliated with the National Christian Women's Network that's founded by Antonio Crawford out of California. So I'm very honored to be a part of this book, and I have a chapter in here about On Hattie's Place. And when I started On Hattie's Place, I didn't plan to do a business. I just wanted to help some foster boys. And I didn't know that you had to do a business, a nonprofit, in order to help some kids who were in need. And it took me 3 years to do a nonprofit to open. And I'm wondering, why is it so hard to do good? And so I talked to people about how they can do good and cut through some of the red tape that I didn't know what I didn't know until I went through it. So it's a wonderful book that you may want to get. This Think Pink, Success Stories from Women Who Launch Businesses and Change Lives. So those are some things I've been doing this year. And spending time with my beautiful granddaughter, one who graduated from high school, now she's in college. And cooking for my family and inviting them over, and just promoting my cookbook and promoting my Driven to Succeed book and my merchandise.
Your merchandise. What's she wearing?
Driven to Succeed. So all of my merchandise on Driven to Succeed, which is a visual, psychological, positive influence and motivation for any people who want to be anything and do anything. That you can wear your success before it happens. Don't wait for it to happen. Claim it, believe it, and then wear Driven to Succeed. So if you believe it and you're willing to put forth the effort, already claim it, because God is there with you and it's going to make it happen. So we have all kinds of paraphernalia, t-shirts, hoodies, caps that people can get on my website in the Driven store. So you need to get your sharp, stylish, chic, trendy merchandise, and wear your water bottle and your computer, your mask, everything that says Driven to Succeed is on my website. So again, I just want to thank all of you who are watching, who know me, who don't know me, that I praise God for you. Thank God for you being in Marissa's life, because God sent her into my life to promote the work that he wants me to do. And the success that I've been able to achieve is not for me. It's for anybody that's in my circle. You share your things and your creature comfort with anybody who's in your circle. And I was able to do that with anyone who wants to take a visit to Jacksonville. You're welcome, because if you know me, you are my fan, my friend, or my follower, or your purchaser of my book. You're in my family, my village of supporters. So stay in touch, go to my website, send me your email so that you can get my monthly newsletter that we send out, inspirational newsletters, so you can stay up to date on what we're doing and what's coming down the pipe.
You said something very, and I could see how you were responding to it when it came to what you had to sacrifice in order to really do what you believe God calls you to do. And that's huge, because a lot of people, as I shared with you before, is a lot of people, you're successful in raising your daughters to take on children that are, challenging, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
They're not problematic, not all problematic, but challenging that would take some extra effort. You've already done it with your kids to really go back and then give of yourself. That's a huge sacrifice.
Yeah, 22 years.
Yeah, that's a huge sacrifice of you could have been doing you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Instead, you said no. You looked at these young people. You looked at what your resources, and a lot of times, we hear the glory to the story, but we don't hear the pressing through the story.
Absolutely.
And so you shared a little, giving up your home, using your home as collateral, believing and trusting God. And I want you to share, like, when you had to believe and trust God, what that felt like and what you were thinking, because that's where faith lies in. You don't know how this is really going to turn out.
Absolutely.
Yet you're still trusting Him, because I believe that we get to the victory, but we don't talk about how that low place where you're like, God, I'm really trusting you. Like, not that you're in doubt, but you're just, you got to go through this. So, and I could see that it really touched you.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, we're not skipping over this, because it really does. And I don't think that we, you introduced me to what's the show we were watching? Because I've been hanging out with Auntie Hattie. So what was Ours? What's the show? So in there it was talking about how we as Black women are always so strong, we never show our vulnerability. And it's so important to recognize that strength comes from
our kind of people.
Just a plug for our kind of people. And yes, I will be binging that, because I got to catch up with my Aunt Hattie, my sister friend. I got to catch up with her in regards to the series and all the episodes. But what's very important is for us to really tell the truth about our vulnerability, because people don't understand that there are times when you're really believing God that you're called to a purpose, that there's nothing in your bank account, but yet you're still trusting Him and believing Him. So this, instant, everything goes viral. Hey, if it happens to some people, great, it happens. But there's another story that says you gotta press through the mess to get to God's best. And if you believe that He called you to do something, you better be driven to succeed, and you better own it. You gotta own it. You gotta settle within your spirit. And so share like that, those trying times, and then also how you had that village to support it.
Well, first of all, everybody has they call it an urge, or I have a feeling I need to be doing more, unction, or I just feel that I need to be doing more, but I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, or I don't know how to get started. And I say to people, there's a compelling urge that people have, and I had this compelling urge to help these boys. I did not know I had this compelling urge until I happened to see them on the corner in the middle of the day when I was assistant superintendent. And I just stopped the car, being from the country, you know everybody in the country, and you talk to everybody, and you speak to everybody. You see somebody doing something, you say, wait, stop doing that. But people say, no, I wouldn't say that. But I stopped the car and I want to know why you're out of school. You are in my district and you're on my streets in the middle of the day. And so, who are you? I'm the assistant superintendent. Why? We are foster kids and we don't know what school we're supposed to go to. But anyway, I took them home, took them back to my office, and then I ended up taking them home for one night, supposedly. And social service going to find them a house. And then 1 week and 1 month went by. Then I decided to keep them. Now, I didn't plan to keep them as a business. Back in the country, you would just keep kids.
Yeah.
People from the north would send kids down the country, you just kept them for a year or two till they got themselves together. So I'm just going to keep them. So social service said, you just can't keep kids like that. You got to have your house license. I don't want a house license. I just want to keep them until you find a house, then you're welcome to have them. And so I was like, no, you got to come over and measure the room and measure the temperature in the water and measure in the refrigerator. I said, I have a daughter in law school, a daughter in medical school. Both of them came out of this house regardless of what the room size was,
Right.
what the temperature was. And so, no, you got to come. And if you plan to keep them, we got to certify your house. If I don't do that, what are you going to do? We'll just have to come and get them. So where are you going to put them? Well, I don't know. We'll find a place. They can stay on a cart in the social service offices downtown. And they will run away again. You know that, right? So, but anyway, I kept them and decided to keep them, got my house license. Then after about 6 months, 8 months, I decided to open up a group home. And 22 years later, we raised over 100 foster boys. And they're everything from teachers, principals, computer techs, in the military, electricians, caterers, I mean, from every walk of life. In every one of these boys, I would venture to say, according to statistics, would either be in jail, homeless, on drugs, or selling drugs. If we, as a village, not just myself, I handpicked staff, board members of both political parties, may I say, and all races on my board, helped to raise these kids. That's why I call it the village of supporters to raise these boys. And it's so funny. Many of my boys are from the hood, exposed to behavior problems, special education, on medication. And their notion was, I don't like white people. Because the only white people they saw were either police officers or what have you. So I had whites on my board. And then once they got to know them and saw how kind they were and giving, they said, I don't like white people except Uncle Lon. And Uncle Lon was a retired pediatrician who was on my board.
Right.
And I don't like white people except Uncle Lon and Aunt Laura. Aunt Laura brought them cookies and the Thanksgiving baskets and all kinds of things. And she's good, she's nice. And they don't like white people except Uncle Lon, Aunt Laura, and Aunt Luda. Then they kept on the list, got getting longer and longer. Then I say, this is sweet. And we had a lot of Jewish friends would come and treat the boys to all kinds of things. We go to the Seder services.
Right.
And then we like all of them because they're real nice to us. And so it was a culture awareness because many of my foster boys were of all races. White, black, mixed, African.
Yeah, you see that.
And they were brothers.
Right.
They loved each other, not at first.
Right.
You know, at first we had a couple of little boys coming in calling it the N-word.
Right.
And finally my boy said, we don't do that here. And they got with the program. And so the sacrifices I didn't intend to do, but many times when you're doing God's work, you don't know what the sacrifice is going to be. Yeah. You're either all in or you're not. Now I have to tell you myself, without God in my life, had I known it was going to be this long and this hard, because it took me 3 years to write the proposal. It took me 6 years to build a brand new house in Montgomery County. 6 years, 2004 to 2010. Had I known it was going to take that long, I probably wouldn't have done it.
Right.
But because you believe in God, you don't know how long it's going to be. Right. Sometimes you don't need to know. Nope. Just trust in God and just move forward and just know I'm in the middle of the tunnel. Do I go back or do I keep going?
No, we don't retreat.
So you keep going. So those are the sacrifices. And just know that when you're doing God's work, it's not sacrifice. It is being obedient. And obedience is better than sacrifice. And don't worry about, I'm going to be out of money. I just cash in my retirement. What am I going to do when I retire? Let God worry about that. And so here we are. I'm 75 years old in Jacksonville with my 2 granddaughters and my daughter, and have a wonderful, beautiful house that I didn't dream of. I couldn't dream big enough to imagine this house. But again, the Lord knew, and I didn't know. So in the right time, just keep the faith, keep being driven, and move forward, and God will take it from there.
That is amazing. And, so many people benefit when we show up. It doesn't, at a certain point, it's no longer about us. We get it, we know. It's really about helping other people. And it's just such an honor. It's an honor really to serve the Lord. Like when you really are in a place of surrender, it's not a sacrifice. It can feel like a sacrifice at times, but that's faith.
Right.
That's faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen.
Absolutely.
And so we walk by faith and not by sight. We walk trusting that God has called us and purposed us to do certain things. And it's just an honor to be in your presence in the sense of all of that you've done, and that you are such an inspiration and such a model for us to, never to think small, to think big, to think big, to expect big, to command excellence, because that's what you do. You command excellence. Driven to succeed is to say, hey, be focused.
Absolutely.
Be focused to succeed, and that's the agenda, and that's it. And so we only have a few minutes left, but I want to say, for the last 3 days, I've been eating nothing but food from this book. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know what she has in it. When she says Southern comfort food favorites, this is dangerous. This is dangerous. And she offered me, from the soup from the day one and the corny cornbread, which is delicious. I broke that corny cornbread up and dumped it right into the soup because I'm a dipper. And so from that to, my gosh, the stewed tomatoes, what a surprise. I was not expecting what I got in those stewed tomatoes. And I'm going to tell you, little hint, I wanted to put vanilla ice cream in there. And you're probably saying, what? And I'm telling you, yes, whipped cream or vanilla ice cream needs to go with the stewed tomatoes. I purchased a few of these for gifts. Can't tell who I purchased these for. That's my secret. But I purchased a few of these as gifts because I just, cooking is a love language.
Yes.
It is a love language. It speaks to the soul. It ministers to the spirit. And I'm just saying to you, thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure. And I just knew it was on my heart when we first met, just the integrity of Dr. Washington, just the heartbeat, and then our conversation. And when you find a woman of substance that you can come and glean and just be under her bosom for a few days, it's worth the trip. And so I just wanted to take out of my busy, crazy schedule and say, I just had to be here. And so I'm just so honored, humbled, and thankful for you inviting me into your beautiful abode. And you will have to check out the Year at a Glance issue. You have to subscribe to the Year at a Glance issue to get a glimpse in. And this is just round one of what we're doing and just following your journey of legacy.
Yes.
So thank you so very much. I love you so very much.
Well, you're like a relative that's been in the family for years, and everybody took to you. My granddaughter yesterday, and I could see that she's thinking, she can mentor me.
Yes.
That sort of thing.
Yes.
And you talking about your breakfast this morning?
Oh my God. And breakfast, I'm telling you, I'm saying I do not have a flat belly right now. And I'm wearing a dress that I should be having a flat belly, but it was worth it.
As healthy as a breakfast can be.
Yes, it was delicious. Fried apples, delicious. I mixed them in with my grits. I mixed them because I like the sweet and salty. I dipped them on my bacon and my sausage, and yes, I did have some bacon. And so I dipped them on my bacon and sausage.
Uncured bacon.
Oh, uncured bacon. Look, it was good.
Yeah.
I've eaten every bit of it.
And your cheese biscuits.
And cheese garlic biscuits, broke those up. Then I broke them up and I put them in with my grits. I like my food mixed together. Oh my God, everything was just so delicious. And mimosas.
When you see the cookbook, I have anecdotes in the cookbook, little stories in the cookbook. And we always cook a big country breakfast whenever I go to Virginia Beach before my dear cousin died. He loved my country breakfasts, you know, with the bacon and the sausage and the eggs or fried potatoes or fried apples, hot biscuits and homemade coffee, grits. Uh, and then my daughter like on a triathlon, and I tell those stories in the book. And so she just the green smoothie and the spinach smoothie. So we didn't cook the country breakfast one day. We were in Virginia Beach because my cousin had gone to a meeting. So his wife and I were sitting on the porch, you know, looking at the water and looking at his boat and just enjoying a cup of coffee. And my daughter comes downstairs, said, "I don't smell the breakfast." And he said, "What breakfast?" She said, "I told my girlfriend that you all gonna throw down and we're gonna have a country breakfast. You watch." And we said, "Well, you all are practicing for a triathlon in training, so we thought you were gonna have a smoothie." She said, "No, we decided that today we're gonna have a country breakfast." So we got to cooking and did this fried potatoes and onions and. But it was so funny, no, we're going to throw down. You all want to throw down.
Yeah, listen, you got to fix us some of this. This was so good.
But I love cooking, and most of the recipes, by growing up in the country, everything was fresh from the garden. So my cookbook, even though it's called Southern Comfort, it is as healthy as you can get it. Because you got to understand the difference between good fat and bad fat. So bacon is a good fat because you don't eat Crisco, you don't eat margarine, all those are bad fats. So when you have good fats, then people are beginning to realize, oh, that's a good fat, keto. It's okay to eat bacon now. It's okay to eat certain fats because your body needs fats for your skin, for your hair, for your nails, and that sort of thing. In the back of my book, I have a lot of research articles why you should be eating this instead of that. Why everybody should be frying with lard. Now people say, lard? Oh, no, lard is a good fat. It's a natural animal fat. But the other things that Crisco is not even a food. So you got to know what you're eating and know why you eat this instead of that. So we won 6 Amazon bestseller in 6 different categories. And one of the categories was my resources in the back. That are research based. So read the directory in the back, do your recipes, and make them as healthy as you can. Instead of using sugar, I got substitutes that you can use instead of sugar. And so again, enjoy your cooking, enjoy eating good food, exercise, and drink plenty of water, and put it all in balance.
Yes, and make sure you get Aunt Hattie's books.
They're good Christmas and any presents for anybody, any time of the year.
Power of the Sisterhood.
Big Pink. And the family heirloom that you can pass down to people, the Aunt Hattie's cookbook.
Yes. Amazing. And so we just want to say thank you and Merry Christmas.
Have a wonderful year. Purposeful, intentional, driven year.
Yeah.
Keep the faith, and God will do the rest.
Yes, and be driven to succeed.
Absolutely.
Thank you.